Hi guys, welcome to Kiki TV. I am a holistic psychotherapist, which means mind, body, heart, spirit, soul are all connected. And I'm a trauma therapist and an abuse survivor. And I make these videos to spread education and knowledge so people can heal. So today we're going to talk about codependency. Codependency the word is used a lot, and I think it's used wrong in a lot of ways. So codependency is not interdependence. Interdependence is how a couple should be. It's a symbiotic kind of love, give and take, and it's equal. Codependency is when one person is on a mission to try to save and heal the other person, who I will call, for the purposes of this video, the dysfunctional person. So the codependent person is trying to save, heal, take care of the dysfunctional person. And the problem with that is that the codependent person is in control. The dysfunctional person is all messed up. And the dysfunctional person is not allowed to make mistakes and learn from them, because the codependent person is usually an enabler to stop them from ever hitting a bottom. Codependency used to be in terms of one partner loving a drug addict or alcoholic. But as mental health professionals, we have found that codependency it's more than just being the partner, being this kind of specific partner with an alcoholic. It could be someone who's in love with someone who's mentally ill. It could be someone who is a partner of someone who is a narcissist. Narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths love codependency because their partner is never really going to hold them accountable. They're just going to clean up the mess and make sure that they're taken care of. And actually, being a codependent person, a narcissist, sociopath, psychopath, or abuser really could abuse you with your own trying to heal them, which is why I'm making this video. I was codependent and had to go to Al-Anon and therapy to stop trying to take care of grown people and let them do their own work and love myself, instead of loving someone so much that I'm like betraying myself and martyring myself. Now, that was many years ago, 25 years ago. But it's one of those things where it's like an addiction. You always have to stay vigilant that you're not going into codependent patterns if you are a codependent. So interdependence is the kind of relationship where two people depend on each other. Codependence is when one person is putting all of their attention and love and feelings and affection and time and resources into healing a person or making a person seemed healed who's completely dysfunctional. And it's actually bad for both the dysfunctional person and the codependent person. So the dysfunctional person has to learn on their own how to get better, which means, how do humans learn? They have to make mistakes, and then they have to correct their mistakes. That's how you grow. But a codependent person is just like, they're gonna never let the other person learn from their mistakes because they're trying to help them to not make the mistakes. This will be more clear when I start to talk about the characteristics, but why is this bad for the codependent? Well, the person who's codependent loses sight of themselves. They don't really self-care or self-love or self-heal. Their entire the way that they identify themselves is by being a helper, somebody who helps this person or other people in general, and never takes care of themselves. So they get lost. And they're very easy to be in abusive situations. A codependent is very easy to abuse because they're not focused on themselves. They're focused on the person. So it gets complicated. And the codependent person needs to find themselves, heal themselves, save themselves, and let everyone do their own work. But that's very hard for a codependent to do. And, I'm not saying that this is easy. like I said, I went to a 12-step meeting called Al-Anon to get rid of the addiction of trying to take care of other people instead of myself. It is a learned behavior. Who does this? People, children who were raised by alcoholics and drug addicts, who are like, they have been raised to take care of their parents, which is called parentified, or children who were in super dysfunctional environments, and in this dysfunction, they learn to take care of everyone and not themselves. It's a self-sacrificing thing. But a codependent becomes a martyr, and your whole identity becomes helping other people and not taking care of yourself, which will destroy you. That's why it's bad for the codependent. So let's talk about some characteristics. A codependent person needs to be in full control all of the time. They give advice that people don't ask for, and then they're mad at you if you don't take the advice. They're very invested in being martyrs. Their whole identity is being a martyr, because they're literally martyring themselves. They're not helping themselves in any way. Self-care, self-love, I said this before, like there's no focus on yourself. So the thing is, someone asked me this yesterday. Well, is it bad to give? Is it bad to be of service? This person was like, I'm a Christian. We learn how to be good people, good neighbors, and that's beautiful. And of course, that's not bad. It gets bad when you start giving everything to other people and not keeping anything for yourself. It gets bad when you are not giving from a full cup and then the overflow. You're giving from an empty cup. And that's another thing about people who are codependent. They're exhausted all the time, and they're burned out all the time because they're not doing their work and they're trying to do someone else's work, and that will never work. Never. Because everyone has to do their own work. That should be one of the mantras for this video. So people need to take care of themselves and then give. Great. But it cannot be your whole identity. There has to be healthy boundaries. People who are codependent do not have healthy boundaries. And also there's a bit of like a controlling element of codependency. You should do what I say because I know and I'm going to save you and I'm in charge. You're not in charge. So in a lot of ways in this relationship, the person who's dysfunctional becomes a child and the codependent becomes the parent. That's also a super toxic way for a couple to be. Because, you don't want to be raising your partner. You want to have a symbiotic love with your partner, right? I mean, it's so simple. And who are you outside of giving? Codependent person. Who are you? Like, aren't you worth more than just giving? Service. Who are you? Codependent people do not have a sense of identity past their own giving. So who are you? Like, that's a really important question. And even though you have been abused or parentified or figured out this way of being in a very chaotic, perhaps abusive or traumatic childhood, which is not your fault, that is you in survival mode. So now you get an opportunity to live outside of survival mode. You get to love yourself. You get to have peace. You don't have to keep picking dysfunctional people to raise and be responsible for. And it never works. It never works. So how do you heal yourself from codependency? You love yourself. You care for yourself. You figure out who you are, what you need, what you like. Have some fun, be happy, enjoy yourself, and let the other people do their own work. It's that simple, but it's difficult. It is simple, the concept, But it takes a lot of practice, and it takes a lot of understanding yourself and even understanding what happened to you back then that makes you the way that you are now, so that you can become conscious of the pattern and then stop that. Because if you didn't get loved in your childhood, or you didn't have peace in your childhood, or you had to deal with super dysfunctional people in your childhood, like, heal that so you can have a good life, so you can know what kind of life it is to be happy and healthy and free. Healing is freedom. So thank you for watching. Thank you for liking and subscribing, and I'll speak to you next time. Bye for now.